Hey gang, welcome back. I am alive. I am well. I'm well. I'm doing better. I've been slowly healing. I'm back to work. Still taking Tylenol. For those of you who are new here, I had my appendix out almost a month ago. Thought that I would be potentially completely healed. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm working on my planner. And I just thought, hey, while I'm working on it, I'm just going to sit and visit with you guys because I promised another video and I have been sorely lacking with doing another video. And so I'm just really sorry for that. And I thought, you know, just going to do it. Just going to sit down and I am going to film a quick video and talk to you guys for a few minutes while I am busy cutting out some of my planner stickers for some future weeks coming up, and just have a little chit chat. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are all doing well. Just to have a little recap, of course, for those, again, that are new here, I had a mucosal appendix, which means, and it's, I guess, kind of rare. It's what I get for going on to Google and doing a little bit of Dr. Pia research on Google. Apparently, a mucosal appendix is kind of rare. It's where your appendix starts to fill up with some kind of a mucousy substance. If it would burst, it would fill up my abdominal cavity all around all of my organs and would give me what the doctor called jelly belly. And what happens then is it just kind of infiltrates all around all of my, or anyone's organs. And it's quite, how do I want to say it? It's just extremely difficult to get rid of. Apparently you have to have multiple surgeries to try to clean it up. It's like you can never truly get rid of it. Apparently it just keeps multiplying, kind of, I don't know. And anyway, mine was contained within the appendix. It didn't rupture. He didn't rupture it when he removed it from my body. They sent it to pathology. It's all good. I had a 3-inch incision. They reopened up my hysterectomy incision. And then I had a hole here, not that you can see. 3-inch incision here, a hole here, one down here, and one further down in the lower part of my abdomen. The smaller one, the top smaller one, is still not healed. And if it didn't look so disgusting, I would show it to you. But I digress. I will not do that to you guys. And so I have to kind of remind myself. It's like, because internally I have still been very tender and sore. He told me, the surgeon told me, that when he went in, he had to scrape away a lot of scar tissue from my last surgery, and that I would probably be quite sore from that. And he was not joking. And so anyway, I've been quite tender. And when I look at my smaller incision out on the outside that has not yet healed completely, I have to remind myself, you know, if that isn't healed, what makes you think that the inside ones are going to be completely healed, you know, 100%. So it all takes time, just like with anyone with any surgery. I'm no one in particular. I'm no one special compared to anybody else. But that's what I've been going through. I've continued to take my Topiramate up to surgery time and after surgery. And in all truth and honesty, in this past almost a month since I have had the surgery, I have not stepped on the scale. In all truth and honesty, I just have had no desire to. I've been really tired. And so my deepest apologies for not being on here sooner and sharing a video with you. There have been nights when I have been in bed by 7:30. No joke. I took a little over a week and a half off from work and went back. And the first day I went back to work, yeah. And I mean, and I work a desk job, so I'm such a pansy. I know y'all are out there going, oh my gosh, suck it up, buttercup. But I'm telling you, it's just been quite tender. So thank the Lord for Tylenol. I've been taking that. I've been trying to I was trying to really wean myself off of it, trying not to take any at all. And I just can't quite do that quite yet. So I try to take only, I bought some 500 milligram capsules of that. And I try to only take 1 or 2 at the most a day. I know the directions say that you can take 2 at a time. I only take 1 at a time. I just don't want to overdo it. So anyway, one thing I do want to touch on, there was someone that had written to me on one of my videos, a prior video, that they were kind of nervous or a little bit afraid to reach out. And I want all of you to know that, you know, we're just all family here, okay? I don't ever want any of you ever, ever, ever to be afraid to reach out, to ask questions. That's the only way we learn anything, is to ask questions, okay? That's the one thing. When I was in school, I was that kid that was always afraid to ask questions because I was always too afraid that I was going to look dumb. And I finally learned that I didn't care. I didn't care if I looked dumb or not, because I finally realized that it was the only way that I was going to get some answers. And I also realized that 9 chances out of 10, if I was wondering, there was probably somebody else in the class that was wondering the exact same thing, and somebody else was probably too afraid to ask the same question. So please, please, please don't ever be afraid. There's never a stupid question. I don't know that I can always give you an answer for the question that you may have, but I will do my best. I'll give you my personal experiences of what I've been through, which is all basically that I can do. And if any of you see a question underneath one of the videos and maybe you have some information or some personal experience that you've been through, please, please chime in. You know, this is what this is all about. It's a community. It's a family. We're here to help each other on this journey. It's, you know, there, as the old saying is, there is no I in team. You know, I can't fly this thing by myself. I need all of you to help me, and we need each other. Iron sharpens iron. We need to help each other. So please, again, don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Okay? That's what we're here for, to love and support each other. That's what it's all about, right? And also, it's about one thing that I had learned a long time ago, and my ex-husband is alcoholic, and I used to go to Al-Anon, and one of the things I learned in Al-Anon was progress, not perfection. And I think you can carry it through most of your life using that motto of progress, not perfection. And we really need to use that in weight loss and any aspect of our lives, really. I don't want you to be so hard on yourself. I want you to stop beating yourself up or comparing yourself. Whatever you did today, if it was even just getting out of bed and washing your face and having something to eat for breakfast, you made progress today. And some of you are going, oh, come on. Really? Some of us battle with some types of depression. And besides all of life's issues as they are, including with weight loss and everything, sometimes just getting out of bed in the mornings can be a challenge. And if you got out of bed today, that's progress. One night, probably, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, I was having a really, really, really hard time. And before I went to go to bed, I sat down at my vanity and I looked at myself in the mirror. And I talked to myself as if I were talking to a friend. And I really tried to focus on encouraging myself. Because I think a lot of us just really don't get that. You know, depending on our life circumstances of who you have around you, friends, family, or lack thereof, you know, some days can be pretty hard, right? Some days are good days, you know. Some days we can actually have had a decent night's sleep. You can wake up, you can feel refreshed, you can feel good, you can shower, and it feels like it's going to be a good day. And then there are days when it feels like the world is crashing all around you. And you struggle to get out of bed, and you struggle to wonder how you're going to make it through the day. That was one of those days for me. And I have always been terribly hard on myself. I just always have. I think part of that is because I just don't have the best self-esteem. I never have. I'm trying to work on that. Progress, not perfection. I've had a lot of negativism in my life thrown at me, and unfortunately, what you hear repetitively over and over again, you start to believe, and to change those old tapes in your mind takes time. And so, again, sometimes you need to sit down with yourself and have a good old-fashioned sit down, a good old-fashioned talk, and sometimes just a good old-fashioned cry. The best stress reliever to me is a good cry. But you really need sometimes to just give yourself a pep talk. Sometimes we are our own best cheerleaders. Because sometimes, some days I don't feel like, and please don't get me wrong when I say this. I'm just telling you what I experience. And even though I have 2 kids and I have a couple of grandkids and I have, you know, co-workers and, you know, a couple of friends here or there, but I don't have a very big circle. And so there are days some days when I don't feel like I have anybody. There are just days like that. I think we all feel like that sometimes. And some days can feel pretty damn dark. But that particular night, I looked at myself in the mirror and I just loved on myself. I just told myself that there are better days coming, that I am a good person and that I deserve better and just better days ahead, you know, things like that. And that's hard sometimes to tell yourself that you're a good person, especially when you've had so many different people browbeating you that you're not, or that you're too fat, or that you're too ugly, or too this or too that. You know, if you've been with me for a hot minute, a while back I did a video where I talked to you about my Instagram and how I cleaned that up. And I have to tell you that that has helped me immensely. And if you haven't done that yet, if you have a social media that you follow, like Instagram or Twitter or something, where, you know, maybe you're following certain platforms that are constantly pushing diets and, you know, slinky bodies and just all this propaganda at you constantly, and just kind of where you feel like it's constantly being shoved down your throat. I want to encourage you once again to shut it off, to unfollow some of those different sites that you might be following. I unfollowed a ton of them. I couldn't believe, because at one point in time in my life, I thought that by following those different platforms, that it was a source of encouragement for me, that I would somehow be uplifted and that it would help boost my morale or my spirit, give me some kind of an edge of, you know, what I wanted to do, you know, keep me on top of, you know, the dieting and whatever, that whole scene. And what I found once I kind of woke up and realized that it was depressing the hell out of me. Because I realized that even though I do need to continue to lose weight and I want to get healthier, which is the common goal, but I also know that I am 51 years old and I'm never going to be 18 or 20 again. And I am not built like a fine little twig. I will never look like some of these models that are on some of the sites that push different diet strategies and that have probably never had any excess weight on their body in their whole entire life. Let's be real, you know. They use the pretty people to reinforce their agenda, and it is what it is. No shade, but we all know we know it's the truth. But again, I encourage you, if you are following any kind of social media where if you fell down the rabbit hole, so to speak, that I did, where you're following all of these things where you think that it's a source of encouragement, but you find that it's just really depressing you, quit following it. You can, if you find that, you know, give yourself a month or two, and if you find that you don't feel any different and you want to go back and refollow them, you can always go back and refollow them. It's not the end of the world, but just try it. Just try it. I have felt so much better. And speaking of feeling better, I shared this with one of you just recently as well, that with the Topiramate and taking that. And of course, you all know, if you've been with me for a hot minute, the mood swings, the crying, and all those things. But, and I'm pretty sure that I've told you this already, but I want to reiterate it, that I've been taking B12. And that's been a godsend. That has been a godsend. I feel like a human being again. But I do know that winter is upon us. And I do want to incorporate some vitamin D into my diet as well. A supplement. Besides, you know, what I get from the food. Because I think that could be a help too, just for some seasonal depression. But B12, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be a doctor. So don't hold this against me or anything. But I don't know if Topiramate depletes B12 out of your system. I don't have the most perfect diet, so I just may not be getting enough B12 naturally in my diet. But when I started taking the supplement, it just made such a difference, such a difference. I just can't tell you how much. I just felt so much better. I just don't break down and have these terrible crying spells like I did for the longest time when I first started on Topiramate. One thing, and I hate to even say anything out loud, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't change, but I feel like Topiramate helps to keep me healthier. I've been around people with colds and such, and so far, thankfully, thank you, Lord, I have stayed relatively healthy and everything. So I think that's also potentially a plus with the Topiramate. I don't know. Could all be in my head. I don't know. It just might be the luck of the draw too. If it's different, come next week, I'll let you know. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in, see how you're doing. Don't pay too much attention to the background. It's not the cleanest, but I just wanted to chat. I miss you guys. I miss you terribly. I've been feeling so guilty for not getting on here and making a video, but I thought tonight was the night. So with that, I'm going to close. So I pray that you are healthy, that you are happy, that you are safe. And I pray that you have peace in your life. Until we meet again, my friends, have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay positive. Love yourself. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.